our central government is planning to make India as a drone hub. In order to be like that, we supposed to have sufficient digital infrastructure and normal infrastructure too. So it is very important for safety and efficiency. And these are the ADC facilities, like I told, like control towers, area control centers will be there, approach controls will be there, radar facilities will be there, where uh, the constant connection between the flights as well as the ground center will be taken place, and communication centers will be there, flight service stations, and remote or visual towers will be there. So all these facilities have been established in different places in order to monitor the air traffic control. So ATC responsibilities are safety assurance, making proper communications, traffic management, air traffic management, emergency responses, navigation assistant, equipment monitoring, compliance enforcement, training and support, record keeping, collaboration. All these are the responsibilities every air traffic control or air traffic center will do, and it will be operatable 24 hours. So 24 by 7 they are working, and they are making us safe in a zone. And these are the communication types available in the ADC. Radio communication, very high frequency and high frequency radios. ADC clearances in the ground control, non-verbal communication and data communication. These are the different types of controls are there, like tower control, ground control, approach control. En route control means it will be on flight, like in the already the flight is takeoff has been done, and it's on air zone. So that time it will be like communication will be taken place. And area control will be there, oceanic control and flow control, emergency control in case of any hazardous things happen. And there are many regulations are there, DGCA regulations, air traffic management procedures, continuing education and certification, safety and compliance will be there. But DGCA regulations now, they have made two different regulations are there. One is for drones, which is coming under sub 200 meters altitude, and non other kind of aerial vehicles, which is coming above 200 meters of altitude. Why I am mentioning 200 meters means normally the altitude they are fixed for the drones is to a maximum for 120 meters in all fly zone areas. So above the 120 meters, we can't fly the drones. As well as in some cases, the government of India or central government has some like permission, or it can operate till 200 meters of altitude, and above 200 meters is considered as other like flying zones. Which is coming under 200 meters is called as drone flying zones. And these are the collaborations actually ATC is having international collaboration for like proper international traffic management, air traffic management has to be taken care. So inter-agency collaboration will also be there, like different airports will be there. Technology provider collaboration will be there. Collaboration with different airlines and pilots will be there. And collaboration with emergency services also be there. So in the emergency handling, priority safety is supposed to be taken care, and declare emergency and emergency communication should be taken by the pilot with the ground control staff. Communication with ATC, follow ATC instruction, whatever they say, like before landing, how they are instructing or how they are giving guidelines, where to land, everything the pilot supposed to follow them, because the ground control people will be having more control as well as more resource availability for controlling any emergency landing and everything, emergency services, post emergency procedures. And this is the airspace structure: class A, class B, class C, class D, and class G they are mentioning. Class G is uncontrolled airspace, which is the drone, which is below 2,500 feet, and Class A is around 7,467 meters height, and the Class B is around 5,486 to 7,467 meters. In between that, it will be given as Class B, and here, ATC provides radar separation for instrument flight rules, traffic and procedural separation for visual flight rules will be there. And in Class C, this airspace is controlled over 12,500 feet to 18,000 feet. Here, procedures separation for both IFR and EFR traffic will be taken care. You can see here the different class operations like in the atmosphere here. So like class A, class B, class C, class D, like small airports, no separation of VFR traffic will be available for class D. And in the class D, there will be no kind of control airspace is going on now. So the class D drones are coming, but now the DGCA is taking control of class D also. So they are preparing different rules and different structures for the drones. So they are planning to release one more amendment this year, like by September. In that, they might talk about more on air traffic management also. In the airspace restriction, like prohibited areas, restricted areas, no-fly zones, danger areas will be there, and it will be given in the airspace restriction zone map. Zonal maps will be provided. In that map, actually, they will be mentioning all like prohibited areas, restricted areas, and zones will be colored. So you can see this kind of airspace will be there. Normally, in everyday. There will be thousands of in 10,000s of flights will be taken place in all over the world. So it is very much important for airspace managing or airspace data controlling, because if anything happens, if any communication is there, it will lead to a serious like air crashes, and many effects will be there. It will be harmful for like many cost economically. It will be loss also. So when it comes to unmanned traffic management, that is this drone traffic management, in a common ways we used to call, is a system enables the safe and efficient operation of unmanned aerial vehicles. Uh, It provides a framework for managing drone traffic in a way that is like how air traffic is managed for manned aircraft. But it is very much difficult to get this into effect, because many people are trying to do that. So the more research is going on, because it is not that much easy to get it in a like year or 2 years of time span, because there will be lot of research is required, and lot of new technology implementation is required. So right now in all over the world, people are trying, not only in India, in worldwide also. There is no like particular drone air traffic control management, but the research is going on to get uh, one unified air traffic management for drones as well as the other aerial vehicles. So UTM in different countries, how they used to call, or what kind of UTMs they have, is like in the United States, you can search for air map or sky grid. In the Canada, latitude geospatial is the center name, and in Australia, Air Services Australia is there, and in the New Zealand, OS New Zealand, Belgium Skies, Denmark Navier, and in India, we used to call DigiSky. The platform names are like this. So in the Digis in India, yeah, if you visit DigiSky platform, you can see all kind of zones, zonal restrictions, and permissions, required permissions, where to take permissions, and everything. So DGCA rules for flying a UAV. So DGCA has made some restrictions for flying UAV, as well as like drone pilot license is required before flying any drones in any area, including the farming drones. today's topic mentioning that. So I also look after the farming drones also, because in India there are many schemes are there for Kisan drones and everything. But in order to fly any drones in any zonal or any area, including farmers, they has to get the flying certificate or pilot license. Without pilot license, they are not allowed to fly the drones, because the farming drones will not fly above 60 meters. It is not required to fly above 60 meters, even though it is very much required and mentioned that the farmers also supposed to get the drone pilot license to fly the drones in their fields. So there are many categories of the drones: nano, micro, small, medium, and large, which is also based on the sizes and like weights of the drones. Less than 250 grams called nano, 250 to 2 kg called micro, 2 to 25 kg small, and 25 to 150 medium, and more than 150 we call large. So there is no restriction for nano or micro drones. Like they should be not like for drones also now they has to register, but nano and micro drones they can fly without registration also. But the pilot who flies that should have that drone pilot license. So registration, drones weighing more than 250 grams needed to be registered. Like I said, for the small, medium, and large drones, there it is like they has to get certified. Then only they can fly the drone. But nano and micro drones can be flight in the air, but the pilot should have the drone pilot license. Uh, so drone pilot, like I said, drone pilot certification is required. Operator certificate will be given. And for that, one more thing is one who applies for drone pilot certification, they has to pass minimum 10 standard as per current rules. Then only he will be eligible, and he is supposed to be 18 to 65 years age. In between that age limit will be there. So that person of the that applicant are eligible to get drone pilot certification or operator certification. So no fly zones. Certainly areas for designated no-fly zones such as airports, military installations, government buildings, and densely populated areas. Flying in these zones are strictly prohibited, and these zones are marked in red color in the DigiFly app. So these are called red zones. Sometimes what will happen means the permanent structures or permanent government structures will be marked as red zones, but temporarily also we can mark some areas as a red zone. Like some festival is going on, or some uh, like carnivals will be there, so where more number of people will be coming and gathering will be there. So that time that entire area will be marked as a red zone. So that in those areas also there is no permission to fly drones because that will be marked as sensitive area. And flight altitude, as per DGCA rules 2021, 120 meters is the maximum height where we can fly the drones. Above to that, it is not uh, permitted. Uh, in the yellow zones, up to 60 meters, anybody can fly the drones. But if it is coming under 8 kilometers of radius of any airport or air zone, uh, the pilot, one who flies the drone, he has to take permission from the nearby airport authority. And in the red zone, only central government has permission to fly the drones right now. So visual line of sight, this is also one of the important criteria, because the drones should not visual line of sight. How we calculate it is like I am in some terrain area, some mountain or some hill region in front of me. So I can't see the drone beyond that. So I am not supposed to fly at that moment. Whenever I'm flying the drone, the entire area should be visible, or entire some mass radius will be there. So till where we can see, till there we can send the drone. We are not supposed to send the drone beyond our sight of like visual line of sight. So flying over people is also restricted. And night operations, initial drones were not permitted, but now actually they can, with proper permission and proper guidelines, they can fly the drones in the night also. For few operations, people are using that. And drone insurance is very much important because every drone will cost more now. So it is very much important to make insurance for the drones, as well as it will be insurance will be provided by third party people for even pilots. So if anything happens, if any in accidents will be happening, so that time back in the accidented zone, or the damages will be there, like for the external applicant the damage will be there, so that will also cover in the insurance. So payload and equipment, this is also important because we can't send any hazardous materials or payloads that could endanger public safety, as well as we can't send like uh, the restricted products in the drones. Permissions for specific scenarios, it's like for activities such as aerial photography, aerial surveying, research, as well as some events will be there. Uh, Recreational purposes will be there. That time we can take permissions and we can fly the drone, and we can capture uh, the event. So yes, green zone. Like I said before, in India's major land, agricultural land, or in the farming, everything comes under green zone. And in the green zone, anybody can fly drone. One who has proper license, with any drones they can fly. And there is no restriction like 60 meters like that, but up to 120 meters they have cut down. So up to 120 meters they can fly the drones. And self-registration is recommended in the Digital Sky platform, because once it is registered, registration has been done, they can fly. There is no like limit like 12 hours, 13 hours of time like that. In green zone, they can fly anytime of their need or requirement. In the yellow zone, it will be like time based. The airport authorities will be given permission for specific period of time. During those time only, they can fly the drone, and they ask to take the permission from airport authority if it is coming within 5 to 8 kilometers of operational. And if it is coming 8 to 12 kilometers, they can fly drone up to 60 meters altitude without permission. If it is going above 60 meters, they have to take the permission from the airport authority. And like I already said, red zone is completely prohibited and can be accessible only to the government, as well as there will be some temporary red zones where there are huge number of population gathering will be taking place. So this is the one screenshot where we can see like different zones in Digital Sky platform, which is air control management software from Government of India. Actually, currently in the Digital Sky platform, there is no like feasibility for requesting for permission. The people who are one who wants to like fly drones in the restricted area, they has to go to the nearby airport authority, and there only they has to get the permission. Through the software, it is not yet enabled, but it will be implemented in near future. So flight regulations, actually they have reduced from 45 to 12 kilometers from the perimeter of the operational airports in 2022 Amendment Act. Micro and nano drones, no remote pilot license is required, but for yes, non-commercial, it should be non-commercial activity. It should not be used for some like official works or company works like that, or government projects, anything. It should be like personal usage. That time only it is allowed. And height restriction, maximum flight altitude of 120 meters. Visual line of sight I already discussed, and prior permission is also required from relevant authority. I discussed that. So, in order to apply for drone pilot license or registration of the drone in the digital sky application, the information or details required is like drone model, pilot license number, if applicable, if it is there for registering drone, flight area coordinates, date and time, purpose of purchasing drone, or the usability of the drone, and insurance information is required. So processing time expecting of 2 working days for approval. It will be completely online procedure. So radio telephony of SRG communicating with air traffic control is I already discussed about this also. Is a set of standardized communications between procedures and workways used by pilots and air traffic controllers. Air traffic controllers are nothing but air control stations in the ground stations or tower stations or radar stations. These are the air traffic control centers, and the pilots will be continuously contacting or communication with air traffic centers. So these are the different call signs used in the air traffic control management for different kind of operations as well as different kind of vehicles. While having interaction between pilot and ground control staff, they used to have these kind of words for easier speedy conversations. Informal conversations, they used to use this. Position and altitude reporting also they has to do like aircraft identification, position, time, flight level, altitude, at which altitude the flight is flying right now, next position and time will be everything. The details has to be communicated between ground control and as well as the pilots. And when it comes to the drone, the flight planning procedures like this KML preparation, identify and mark CP and GCP points, nothing but control points, which will be permanent benchmarks or permanent structures in the ground for clear path, like whether the drone is moving in the correct path or it is moving in a different wrong path. To identify that, we will be marking some checkpoints. So once the drone cross those checkpoints, we will be getting alert, or we can see those things in a live feed also. So we'll be getting an idea about the drone is going in a correct path, so it will reach its destination in a proper time or regular time. So preparation of the flight KML, which is required for flight planning or in the mission planning, and base station identification from where in which area the areas we supposed to fly the drone for continuous connect between the drone as well as the radio telephony operation. Marking of CPGCP on site, that is the permanent checkpoints which I spoke earlier. So we need to mark it properly so we can identify that is the proper there is a proper checkpoint over there. So yeah, the drone is passing those checkpoints and ground control points. Examine the drone before flying, whether the propellers are correctly adjusted or propeller has a crack or not. The camera or the payload is properly attached to the drone. The payload doors are closed or not. Everything we need to check. Examining the drone is important, and checking the batteries and battery percentages is important because that will that is a fuel for the drone. If the battery percentage is very low or it's intermediate between uh, it's not constant package, means it will be like leads to the crash of the drone. Identification of flight location from where we need to flight, because there should be no obstacles, no trees, no electrical lines, poles, anything. It should be clear area so the drone can fly easily. And preparation of the flight on site, and mission plan and drone flying, and finally data check will be there. So this is one software called CD-Fly, which is operated by Clear. steady space company for the SnapM model drone. In this, actually, you can see like it is this drone used for like surveying. So here they have mentioned like the camera, which kind of model they have, and camera is nothing but payload in the drones. That is kind of a payload, and overlapping front end side overlapping will be there because it will be capturing images. So overlapping will help in combining images, and takeoff altitude and flight speed, height will be there. So height will be actual like aerial height where the drone is to fly, and takeoff altitude is nothing but it will be like from where which point up to which point the drone has to be take off, and from there it will be gradually increased to the given height. So flight speed will be there because flight speed is also important. It will directly relatable with the battery also, as well as the performance of the payload. So and grid angle where we can set the fly path, like how much distance the drone has to fly and how it has to fly, like in which and all direction it has to fly. So that option will also be there, and the crossfly also be there for the enhanced like superior quality of the output data. Uh, and follow terrain is for like safety purpose, safety feature. One of the safety feature we will be using because in terrain areas the drone supposed to identify the terrain location, and it should start according to that like terrain structure. The drone should increase its altitude and decrease, and only in terrain mode it is allowed to fly if above 120 meters also, if where it actually required. In the normal mode, it is not allowed beyond 120 meters. It is already communicated between the drone companies, drone manufacturers, also from the central government. So whichever drone if you are purchasing now, it will be like clearly in their software they will restrict to 120 meters. If it is crossing 120 meters, means you will be ineligible to claim your insurance, like that it will be happening. So don't cross 120 meters. And the other details you will be find is area, how much area you are going to fly, photo counts, and every other trigger distance, and total distance of a drone, total time it will take to complete that distance. Everything will be provided in the mission plan. And you can see here the first option altitude is here. So it will resemble how much height the drone has been reached. That will be identified using this altitude feature, and distance to home, how much meters distance is pending to the come back to the home location from the starting point. It will be given here, and satellite count, it is very important because the drone will be operating through satellites. It will connected with, between uh, the laptop or the system, as well as the base station and drone. So the satellite will be operating as a medium for this for continuous operation. So the more number of satellite count gives us more kind of precise air traffic or the drone movement. So collision avoidance system, the sensor integration will also help us in avoiding like terrain in sudden terrain conditions and everything. It will identify and it will stop drone over there. So the drone will not crash. It will land safely. And obstacle detection, environmental mapping will be there. Collision risk assessment, path planning, and decision making. Fail safe features will be there. Fail safe features are nothing but if battery is very low, it will directly come back to home. That RTL operation we used to call return to land. That is like widely implemented in all drones nowadays, and obstacle detection is also widely implementing, and terrain uh, mapping is also implementing now. So this is one screenshot of terrain mapping feature where the drone will identify the terrain structure and fly accordingly. The height will be varies from 0 meters to up to 300 meters. And UAV crash analysis. So in some situations, something happened, so the drone crashed. So how to analyze that situation? What make the drone to crash, and what happened over there? Because it will be completely out of our control. So at that time, what we need to do is first thing we need to take the flight logs and data. Physical inspection has to be taken care, like what damage has been done and from where it got, where it is crashed, like tree for tree or mountain or any for which structure that it got crashed, building, like that. Environmental factors like whether it is a raining effect or a lightning effect is there, or some strong wind is there. Everything we need to consider. Flight path, whether it is coming or going in the prescribed flight path, or it went somewhere else. Like that we need to check. And human error, like pilot error will be there. Like he has not analyzed the area and he flied in the wrong zone and wrong path he has given. So that time the crash will be happening. And system malfunction sometimes. System malfunction, like the drones and softwares will be like they are newly developing now. The software developers will be injecting like new software updates will be there. So some software updates are not tested properly. So that time the system malfunctions will be happening. Some bugs will be there. That time also, it is easier to like. Uh, what do we call, like cyber security will also come under this one. Battery and power issues will also be there, like if sudden battery loss will be there or battery is not optimized properly, so that time the power will go down very quickly and drone will be crashed immediately because of no power, and regulatory compliance will also be there. So this is one of the case study where actually one of the drone crashed. So how it happened, and from where the loiter means the manual power. From there auto mode, it has been taken care, and suddenly it crashed and it dropped down. So that you can see in the image here. So how to avoid means know the rules. DGC has prepared some set of rules and regulations, so we need to follow that. And we supposed to have some checklist. We used to always go through those checklists properly, and to get that thing avoiding crashes and everything. Inspect the drone inspection is very much important before flying. Calibration of UAV for compass and other kind of sensors. Calibration is required. Keep in line of sight, like up to pilot sight. It should be there, and monitor the battery levels. Avoid at the crowded areas. Follow the pre-check and post-check flight list, and future advancements required is automated unmanned aerial traffic management. It is also going on now, and our advanced collision avoidance system. It is also implementing, and development of secure and reliable data links. It has to be developed, and integrating of real-time updates of geofencing database. It is also required, and widespread integration of simulation-based training is it is also required. And this is a summary of the session. And these are the references. You can scan to get the references. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Karthik ji. If there are any questions, I request to post in the chat box or raise your virtual hand so that you can speak directly to sir. Any questions? If there are no questions, we will end this session. So our next session will be by Mr. Tirumugilan Ramaswamy. Karthik ji, as there are no questions,
Yes,
as
sir.
of now, we will end the session. If
Okay.
there are any questions related to the topic and you want to speak to Mr. Karthik ji, you have his contact number or you can contact us. We will bridge the gap between you and him so that whatever there is one question. In
Yes,
case
sir.
of softwares, what are the common notice bugs?
In case of softwares,
What are the common noticed bugs?
noticeables.
Noticed bugs.
But yeah, in kind, like in terms of software, there will be like when you start flying, it will be automatically showing different location. Like your home location or takeoff location will be different, and software will be taking some other location. Like for example, I'm in Bangalore and I'm giving the flight location here in Bangalore, but it will taken in the Andhra Pradesh or Tamil Nadu. Like the software is identifying different locations for the home as well as for landing of the drone also. Sometimes it will automatically change in between the flights. So like that, we have seen few bugs in the softwares also, as well as sometimes what will happen means the connection between the drone as well as the telemetry is also like disturbed heavily. Like the laptop it will be showing like the drone path and it sent the data to the drone, but it actually didn't. So what will happen means we will be thinking like the software has shared the required data to the drone, so we will be start flying, but the drone will go somewhere else because it is not having correct path. So like this few bugs will be there, as well as it is not like 100% encrypted connections will be there. So there might be some people can connect in between also. So they can take control of your drones. So like that few anomalies will also be there.
Thank you, Karthik ji. What to be done in case of telemetry interruption with aircraft?
There will be like for telemetry, there will be two types. One is wireless and wired. So both will be there. So in case of there is a disturbance between wireless telemetry, so it should be given like antennas to be in the open air space areas and in the height wherever they are planning to fly. It should be keep in some elevated area, some high altitude area, and the connection between laptop and telemetry also to be taken care by wire. So that time the connection issue will also like reduced.
Okay. Thank you, Karthik ji. Any other questions? Any specific test should be done so that are mandatory for before the flight?
Before flight, like battery and sensor testing has to be taken care because when you open the drone flying software, they will be showing like what kind of sensors it is having. So those it will be mentioning like in the from green to red symbolic simulation will be there. So if it is in green, then it is ready like good to go. If it is not in the green means if it is having yellow color or red color, it is showing means there is requirement of calibration or other kind of tests need to be taken care for the those specific sensors. That time they need to contact the manufacturer or there will be some guidelines which will be given along with the drone. So they has to follow on field.
Thank you, Karthik ji. What are some of the reliable open source software that used for flight mission planning? You have mentioned.
Right now, open source software like Mission Planner is there. Apart from that, Pix4D, the Catch software is also there. Some photogrammetry software is also there. They are providing like flight planning softwares also now. But not all drones are flexible with all kind of software. So Mission Planner is one of the open source software which can adjust with any kind of drone. We can test drone flight in any specified areas or like traffic air traffic control management or where the drone will go, what will happen if I fly over there, everything, all tests can be taken care in the mission planner application. Other than that, what and all is there, it will be other private party applications also there, but it will be limited to those drones only, which is not like used by any other kind of drones.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions? If anyone wants to speak, I will unmute you, Dr. For rural farming, which one? In case of data capture for rural farming, which one is useful? I don't know. It's incomplete question, I think. Reframe the question. For rural farming, which one is useful?
For
I don't know. Regarding software, they are asking or what? I will unmute you, please. You directly speak to sir. For rural farming, which one is useful? The software they are asking.
for rural analysis of farming data. If they are asking for analysis of farming data, there will be like 640 feeds, which is very good in optimizing or getting the data processing with respect to the agriculture data, or 640 maps also there. And any photogrammetry softwares they can use, but for analyzing the farming data, they should have like different sensors will be there. So not all drones, right now the government is also proposing like Kisan drones and everything, which is not meant for all kind of operations, which is only for limited operations like pesticide spraying or the crop seed spraying and water spraying, like that kind of activities they are having drones. But there are some other kind of drones where it will capture more kind of data through different kind of sensors, image sensors will be used, and those data can be like processed in Pix4D or any other photogrammetric softwares. So through that they can analyze and they can plan for what kind of crop they has to grow, and what's happening in their field. Everything, all kind of information will be available in that.
Thank you very much. In case of data capture drones, imaging ones, what tests needs to be conducted for spectral references?
uh, like uh, So data capture drones like multispectral sensors will be there, multispectral data will be capturing. So that will be processed using the in the specific like model will be there in the photogrammetric softwares for the analysis of multispectral data or images. So at that moment, the spectral references in the drone software, it is not like the satellite one, because it will be automatically it will adjust to the required sensors and required bases, and it will give outputs. So for particularly into the satellite data, we require more like different spectral identifications has to be taken care, but with drones it is not that much requirement.
Any other question? Hope your questions answered, Ms. Tejaswari and Srilata. So thank you very much, Karthik ji. On behalf of KSTA and on behalf of Manage and on behalf of all the participants across the state, I would like to thank you immensely for being part of this 3 days online workshop and delivering a lecture on this. Thank you very much. We'll be in touch with you. So for some physical programs also. Thank you.
Sure.
So
Sure, thank
next session will be by T.R. Mugilaswamy sir. He will be joining in shortly. Till then, you can have a healthy break. You can have 5 minutes quick break and join with us. Break. So meanwhile, he will be connecting and I will be giving an introduction about him. Then we can start the today's last session. By 3:45, we have mentioned the schedule. So that's the reason sir has not joined yet. Once he joins, we will start the session.